welcome to episode 14, Health Guidance for Others. Today we're going to be telling a few of our many stories of how we receive health guidance for others, and the guidance comes through in dreams and also during one-on-one sessions that we have with our clients. My guides have told me that Brandon and I are here to teach medical medium information so that the light workers can bring their light to the world, and so that they vibrate at a high enough frequency to be able to do what is required of them.
The other day I got guidance for somebody who wasn't really a close friend and somebody who I haven't spoken to in 20 years. And this isn't uncommon. You'll see it in a couple of my stories. But this person asked, "What am I doing showing up in your dreams for health advice?" And what I think is that it just may be so that I am the only person in her life or that can reach out to her or will reach out to her that is listening to this guidance and taking it seriously. So I think that's why Sophia and I are in this position. And, I'd encourage you guys to all take your own guidance and health advice in your dreams seriously, and perhaps you can be that guiding light for others.
And speaking of getting your own health advice in your own dreams, Brandon and I often show up in other people's dreams to give the health advice to them. And so it's been kind of funny for us to hear that we're even playing that role at night when we're all dreaming.
Yeah, completely symbolic and always fun to hear. So the stories here in this episode are food related along the lines of medical medium information, which we dedicated a whole episode to that, episode number 10. And we also get energetic healing information for people too. As we always do, our favorite stories are last, so stick around till the end, and here we go. Okay, this first story, I'm sharing the individual's name with her permission. This story is about my cousin Katie. Katie listens to our podcasts, and not too long ago, she had a day where she was told twice that she has intuitive abilities, as I'm going to call them. And at the end of that day, she asked her guides before she went to bed, "If this is true about me, can you either send me a dream as confirmation, or Brandon gets dreams, can you share a dream with Brandon as a way of confirming this for me?" And so I had no idea about any of this. And when I get dreams about other people, I like to share them with that person. So literally that night when she asked, I got a dream about her. And in my dream, I was shown that she could really benefit from following medical medium information to enhance her health. And so I reached out the next day in a text message and just shared that with her. And she asked to set up a video chat. So Sophia, Katie, and I got in a video chat and we caught up, and she told me about this sequence of events. And I find it, in a way I find it mind-blowing, and in a way I'm also not surprised, but super cool nonetheless that, this sequence of events and the timing of her asking to get a dream, and then I got one that night. So it came with some important information for her, both in the way of the medical medium information and that, yes, she is intuitive. And I think we all are. I do think some of us have an easier time tapping into it than others, especially at first. And I think that's the case with her and why she's getting these messages. And so you heard it here first. If you ever need some intuitive services in the future, Katie is up and coming, and we'll be working on these, developing them over, the coming years. So very excited about how this all played out.
These next ones are going to be kind of quick little stories. The first one is about a client that we had, and while we were doing part of the talking during the session, I actually saw a watermelon over her shoulder. And so I was like, oh, the guides are saying that watermelon is good for you. And often guides will do that kind of thing, like show us a picture of what's good for someone. And to follow up with that, I had a dream where my guides were telling me to make sure the same client also eats the watermelon seeds, and that's medical medium information. that those seeds are indeed good for you and that she may not like them, but it's important that she just crunch them up and put them down. One particular client, I was told that lemon water and celery juice were really important for this particular client during our consultation, and my guides were coming through really strongly about that. Another client that we had, my guides were telling me that there was petroleum sludge deep in the client's liver and that the extractor smoothie would be good for that person to cleanse out those inner and deep parts of their liver. We have a client that is going through chemotherapy, and my guides have told me that lots of lemon water are good to flush out the chemotherapy medicine. And every time we've had a session with this client, they continue to tell me more lemon water, as much as you can get down. This next one came to me in a dream where a family member needed to have a medical procedure. And so we called the family member the next day, and in fact, they were waiting to have this medical procedure and waiting for their doctor to call them back. So we just wanted to illustrate this story to our listeners that we do get guidance about Western medicine as well, and not just food and supplement advice. And that was able to help this particular family member.
Yeah, make the decision to follow through.
This next one is about a dream I had about a friend of ours, and I was seeing this friend at a gym, and we had a conversation in the gym where he was saying that protein wasn't working for him to build muscle. When I hit him up in real life, he confirmed to me that protein wasn't working for him because he thought it was making him gain weight. And medical medium information is that protein is associated with high fat, which leads to an overburdened liver, which leads to weight gain.
Or can lead to weight gain. But a better way to build muscle is with the glucose from critical clean carbohydrates, which are fruit, raw honey, potatoes and sweet potatoes, winter squash, and coconut water.
This next one is about a close family member, and she has skin rashes, which she thinks is from allergies. My guides told me that it's not allergies, that it's from heavy metals in her system. I have gotten a lot of guidance about the heavy metal detox smoothie from Medical Medium for a bunch of people, and that removes heavy metals from our system. This next one is about a close friend of ours who has a large bacterial infection in her stomach, and this is causing her a lot of discomfort. My guides told me that one of the reasons that she's in our life is to be able to learn the medical medium information and heal this condition with that information. This next one is an energetic hit of guidance. My guides showed me that a close friend of ours needed to let more joy into her life. And when I shared this with her, she was like, wow, thank you so much. Actually, yeah, she really considered it objectively and was able to admit that about herself and look at herself honestly and wanted to change that in her life.
And along the lines of energy guidance, I've been given multiple messages from multiple people about the need to ground. Bring your energies more connected to the earth. It's a big one for a lot of us, but it's come in specifically for a handful of people.
I've also gotten guidance about a close family member that is having some kind of health issues but is denying it or not really seeing it. There was this gray haze around this person and they were using a walker. This person right now isn't open to receiving this kind of information, but at least I have some level of awareness that in the future, if they approach me, I can have that knowledge to be able to help them. And the last one we have is about a client who I've been told multiple times that gluten is the reason for their inflammation, and this has happened over multiple sessions.
And I actually just remembered one more. And I was shown a bunch of aloe leaves positioned like around a clock. So for this client, it was to have aloe around the clock to heal her colitis. And aloe has also been personal guidance for me to heal from Crohn's. And while I'm mentioning it, I just want to be clear that it's fresh aloe cut straight out of a leaf, about 2 inches of gel, 2 to 4 inches of gel, eaten straight by itself.
I've also gotten a bunch of guidance for our dog Rossi, what foods to feed him and what he needs, and I've highlighted that in some previous episodes.
This next story is a big one for me because of just how I relate to authority in general in my life. And so when I was a student at the Barbara Brennan School of Healing, I had a teacher who was like an energetic, spiritual, disciplined, experienced badass who's been in the space for over 30 years as a teacher and just really, really looked up to her. But she liked to drink coffee, and there is reasons as far as health is concerned based on medical medium information why one would not want to drink coffee, and my guides decided to use me as a medium of a message for her and show me a dream where I was telling her that she can get herself off of her coffee addiction by taking one of the medical medium brain shots, which he has a whole bunch of, they're called brain shots. You juice different ingredients together to produce like a little shot glass size of liquid, and each one's for different purposes, and one's for addiction. So I was shown she could use this one and overcome her coffee addiction with it. And she was one of those cases where she politely said thank you, but had no intention of listening to my message. And she still drinks coffee to this day. It's been years.
She calls it her one vice, or she did when we were in class.
Yeah, so is what it is, but that's okay.
This story is about a coworker of mine, and he had some kind of spinal surgery, and so he was away from work for a while on medical leave. And I had a dream where he was drinking big pots of coffee and gaining weight at home, and also trying to come back to work too quickly, and that would re-injure his spine. And obviously the spine is something that's very delicate. So at first I was a little reluctant to tell him because I didn't know if we were close on that level, if he would really think I was, kind of crazy or something for following dream guidance. But I told him, and he later came back to me and said, I am so happy that you shared that with me, because that's literally what I was doing, is making a huge pot of coffee every day. I was at home eating junk food, and I would have gained a lot of weight, but I really took in what you said. And also, I really wanted to come back to work, and it was way too soon, and I really think I would have re-injured myself. So thank you for passing that along. And he really shared that from his heart. And so that was really cool guidance for me to know that it's important to share these dreams with people, that they're coming in for a reason to help others heal and live their best life.
Yeah, it's that kind of validation that really gives us confidence to keep sharing our dreams, following our dreams.
This next one is about some dear friends of ours, and they are trying to conceive. And so I had a dream where they had an infant in a stroller. And I shared this with the girl in the relationship, and she was so thrilled that she started crying, so touched. And I told her that I had a dream for another friend of mine, and indeed she did conceive about 4 months after I had the dream. So in this case, our friends are really looking forward to a baby girl sometime in the future.
And these are the friends who I got guidance for, where in the guidance I was given, I was told that they may not listen to this guidance, which I thought was really funny. But I was given specific foods and herbs for them to eat to assist their chances of conceiving.
Yeah, so we know they'll get there just in time.
Sophia gets a lot of guidance for me, which I'm very thankful for. It's been happening over a number of years, and sometimes I'm just too sick or not as tapped into my guidance as she is, and vice versa sometimes, but she tends to get all the health guidance for me.
I had a dream where my guides were showing me that Brandon was being too strict with combining fats and sugars. And if you combine fats and sugars, it leads to glucose intolerance. So, of course, we want to be careful about that, but he was being really, really strict about it. And my guides were saying it's okay to, back off of that a little bit, especially in situations like traveling.
This might be the first time in my life my guidance has been to not do such a good job.
All right. And then I have a story about seeing a frog for Brandon. And one of the messages is to hydrate. And I told him the message, but I don't think he really received it as well as Spirit intended, because he ended up getting very sick from lack of hydration.
Yeah, I missed that one, but you guys can check out our Spirit Animals episode to learn more about how we use animals to decipher messages from the spirit world.
I got a psychic hit for Brandon to have yarrow tea, which yarrow is a plant that grows wild around here plentifully.
Thankfully, because yarrow has been very paramount to my healing journey, and this is a story we'll tell more thoroughly in a future episode.
I got guidance that Brandon and I were to live a fat-free diet and lifestyle to help us heal to the optimal level. And this was something we'd kind of been resistant to pursue. But after this dream, we were like, okay, it's time.
Well, actually, at the point of this dream, you had already begun to make the shift.
Oh, yes.
For yourself, but not me. I was still having turkey and fish and all sorts of fatty dinners that I was reliant on and really enjoyed, but I trust Sophia's guidance, so I didn't question it. And it was more like, dang it. I guess I have to follow this. And so I listened, and now I'm over a year mostly fat-free.
Yay!
This next story is one of the first times I ever got health guidance for another person, and it really boosted my confidence in this whole process and my willingness to share. And so I was shown in a dream a person from my past who I literally haven't spoken to in 20 years. And 20 years ago was like high school, and I don't think we were even close since middle school. So this was a person from way in my past. And I was shown like a massive romaine lettuce. Like, it was very important for her to have lots of romaine lettuce. And so I didn't know how to get a hold of her, but thanks to good old Facebook, I was able to find her, and I sent her the message and told her, and she said, "Whoa, this is really weird timing because I just checked myself into the hospital today because I was worried about my heart." And I was like, wow, what are the odds? Like, Spirit got this message through me to her on the day of great concern. And I honestly haven't heard any updates, but just the timing of that alone was really something for me. Okay, so this final story is another one of the early stories that really helped boost my confidence and willingness to share health guidance I get with others. And it's a story of a friend who showed up in a dream I had where I was shown a scan of her body, like a MRI or a CAT scan or something like that, and shown that she has a big strep infection in her liver, the streptococcus bacteria, which is a big one in humanity. At this point, most all of us have at least one strand of strep in our system. So that was the whole dream. Of course, there's lots of information from medical medium on how to approach healing this, but I shared the dream with her, and I didn't immediately hear back. At first, I heard, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just laying in bed in pain today and just not really using my phone, so I'll listen to your message tomorrow. And I was like, that's interesting. Okay. And the next day I hear back from her, and she said something like, funny timing. So I was laying in bed thinking about how I need to heal my gut. And all of a sudden I felt like I needed to pick up the phone and listen to your message, and that she was super surprised because she had no idea that my message was going to be related to what she was laying in bed thinking about and what she was laying in bed in pain with. And so it was very appropriately timed for what she was walking through and right on point. So, that's when I guess I really realized the power of this guidance and always willing to share.
Now it's time for our soulful send off.
All right, so as I just mentioned, I'm always willing to share, but it doesn't mean people are always going to listen. Sometimes we've even been told so and so may not listen to this advice directly in a dream. In other cases, people just go, okay, thanks, and that's it. And I know they're just being polite because, I allude to the medical medium information and they don't really ask any questions or seem like they have an intention to dive into it, and that's fine. Everybody has free will, and I think it's really important not to push people and to honor their free will. So I share with no attachment, and it's a very key part of all of this. And as Sophia mentioned at the beginning, the stories we shared here are few of many. We tried to share ones that have some mind-blowing timing and things like that, but we're constantly getting advice both for ourselves, our dog, and others. And, that's cool and all, but we really want to put this out here to let you know that you can do the same for yourself, your loved ones, and just the people in your circle of life.
And I just want to reaffirm that I feel like the magic really starts to happen when you ask and you get an answer and you follow that guidance, and then more comes in. And as you continue to follow the guidance, more and more rolls in, and you really start to see a healing pattern and create a relationship with the guides and the divine energies.
And so what if you're a person out there saying, well, I don't get dreams and direct guidance the way you guys do? I would refer you to episode number 8, where we talked about kind of how to develop the channels of getting guidance this way. And one of them is cleaning your liver. So listening to the health guidance and, cleaning your liver go hand in hand. So the more you do that, the more guidance you'll get. However, in the meantime, you can gain guidance and awareness through synchronicity. And so I have a synchronicity story for myself from recently that I was just reminded of. And that was with licorice root and milk thistle. So Sophia and I take different supplements than each other for different reasons, and it's been that way for many years. And she takes milk thistle and I don't. And one morning in particular, I accidentally grabbed the milk thistle thinking it's licorice root, and by the time I had consumed it, I realized the mistake I made because the labels were almost the same color, and that's all I was looking at. And, we've had these supplements for years. That's never happened. So this happens this one day. And then that same day, a family member of mine reaches out and says, hey, what do you know about milk thistle? I just got a bunch of free milk thistle. And I was like, well, I know that it's super synchronistic that you're asking me this on the day that for the first time ever, I accidentally took it. So I think I had another dream confirming that afterwards, but I got the message from the universe, and now I take milk thistle daily. So just, keep an eye out for synchronicities like that for yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And also just know that spirit is there wanting to help you with whatever situation you're in. Heal and free yourself from pain and suffering. So the divine really wants what's best for you, and they're going to try to show you in whatever way they can the messages, and hoping that you get the message so that you can live a better life and you can heal yourself.
And like all things spiritual guidance related, you can get the message, but it's up to you to follow through. And that's often the hardest part.
Yes, definitely so.
So thanks for joining us on another episode, and we want to thank our Patreon subscribers and our clients and
thank you all so much for your support.
Supporters on Spotify, and we appreciate and love all of you, and see you next time. If you heard that scratching in the background, that's Rossi.
He says bye. Every week, we share our most recent divine guidance in an audio recording called Oracle Offerings. Sign up for only $5 a month at patreon.com/aspenroots.